Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspirational Woman in Literature Conference. We have just had the wonderful time of listening to our former speaker, and we got to see them get their award, which was wonderful.
Fantastic.
Right now, we have Lisa Mcdonald, who is also one of the Inspirational Women in Literature, Media, and Journalism. Her specialty is literature, and I'm going to give her a little bit of media in there because she has an amazing radio show. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. Lisa Mcdonald, will you tell us a bit about what you do and how you've helped others?
Well, thank you very much, Nona. I really appreciate this opportunity once again. It's great to see you on screen and to be reconnected. So I, like many of your followers here, including yourself, I'm a serial solopreneur. Started out with books, so you're quite accurate in terms of that being the initial part of my journey. I do radio. I go live every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 Central, 11 Eastern on the Contact Talk Radio Network. My host show is Living Fearlessly with Lisa Mcdonald. I'm also now partnered with another global network, which is C-Suite Radio Network in New York. So I'm really, truly grateful. I just actually interviewed Jack Canfield last Friday. Stellar guests, people who I've truly sponged up all their material, which has resonated with me in the trajectory of my journey. So I'm all about the yumminess. I'm all about empowering people to empower themselves. I'm all about advocacy, all under the umbrella of my brand, which is Living Fearlessly with Lisa Mcdonald. So yeah, I absolutely love every aspect of what it is I do as a speaker, as an author, as a radio show host, as a podcaster, as a blogger for Ariana Huffington Thrive Global. The list goes on. So I mentor and I coach too. So my roster of clientele's gone up. So yeah, like you, I'm exponentially busy, but where there's a will, there's a way. And I always try to find a way, not try, I don't like that word because it's non-committal. I actually do make time for everything that I commit to and I say is important to me. And what's important to me is anchoring other people up and helping them with their journey, because you don't know what you don't know. So I am very fortunate that I have a solid mindset. I'm very fortunate that I have lofty goals that I do actually in fact accomplish, whether it be in a 6-month window, 1-year window, 5-year window in some cases. So I'm fiercely committed to personal development.
So, of course, I have to have one question for you. If you anyone wants.
Of course.
No, it's one question. So, first of all, dude, you missed one. You have your own television show.
Oh, right. Well, to be honest with you, I'm in transition with that only because things have skyrocketed with the radio show, and I'm oversubscribed now. I'm at 500,000 podcast subscribers, which once again, to everybody who's listening to this, I'm super, super grateful, because I can't accomplish what it is that's important to me in terms of imparting my message to the masses and to the collective without your support, without your endorsements, without you sharing out my content. So I'm oversubscribed. I'm booking on average now 2 to 4 people per week. And of course, my show as it exists right now is only once a week. And I'm booking into spring, summer. I think I'm in the month of July now for bookings, which means I have to very quickly expand my show to twice a day to keep up with the influx and the volume of people wishing to be showcased, which means, unfortunately, I can't do it all. I can't be it all. So I have had to really hone in on what do I have to let go of here, because it's more important for me that what I do commit to, I do effectively. And my passion really did start out with radio prior to TV. I've absolutely loved my experience on TV. But I spoke with Priya Ali, who's wonderful, who graciously was the one who gave me that opportunity. She's the network owner over at 365 TV Network. So she understood where I was going. I think she forecasted that this was probably going to be where I would be for 2018, given how exponentially my radio and podcast show has grown. So unfortunately, I'm not returning to TV. That's not to say that down the road, maybe there won't be Roku in the picture. I'm not too sure, but right now it's really the focus is radio, podcasting, mentoring my clients.
Exactly. All right. I was wondering, I'm so sad to see you go.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it was a trip.
I'm sorry. Let me get my professional back on this. Uh, guys, thank you so much. But you've already seen me mess up twice today, so you're good. Anyway, my next question to you is, how do you make yourself available for everything you do without being tired? I mean, look at you today. You look so well rested and youthful. How do you do this? I think everyone in the audience wants to know.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. It was a gong show this morning, so the fact that that's your observation and that's your kind words, I really appreciate that, because you know, it used to be being much more youthful. You know, you just put your hair up and you know, you look very natural and organic, and not so much these days, particularly when, you know, you're grinding and burning the candle hour into the wee hours of the morning and you don't have a lot of sleep, and then from the minute you hit the pavement, it's go, 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 go. So I'm not really focused on the external. Of course, I need to be presentable for your audience, so I appreciate your kind words. But I just step into it, you know, like I'm very clear on what it is that's important to me. And so coupled with that, I take massive action, and I'm very big on accountability, not only for myself, but for the people who I interface with, who I partner with, who I collaborate with, who I mentor, who I coach. You know, if you don't have accountability, which is really indicative of your word, you've got nothing. Right? So who wants to be seen as that person who's continuously dropping the ball, or is forever paying lip service, or really just can't be relied upon? You know, people tune into that very quickly, and unfortunately it only takes once for people to kind of go, well, is this person serious? And I am serious. And so because I take myself seriously, I then want other people to take me seriously. And how do you prove that to people, particularly if you're interfacing across the globe and they don't have the luxury of having history with you to know that you are credible, you are legitimate? So you show up on Skype meetings, you show up on Zoom meetings, you show up to webinars, you just show up. Whatever it is that you're scheduled to do, you show up. And I show up enthusiastically because I'm very passionate about what it is that I do. Because I am on a mission, I'm very clear about my mission of living fearlessly with Lisa Mcdonald, and imparting that message to anchor up other people, the masses, empowering other people to empower themselves. I don't have the luxury of time. You know, who's to say that if I drop the ball, that that's not going to offset a domino effect in the negative direction? So I do hold myself extremely accountable, and I love what I do. When you do what you love and you love what you do, it's effortless. Scheduling is a nightmare, but I absolutely love when I'm in the flow of doing what I absolutely love to do.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm okay. First of all, I'm surprised that you can make time for anything after you said all of what you do, how you do it, and how you do it excellently. So, I mean, I think we all in the audience now know that you are probably one of the people to follow here today. Well, I mean, I think all of our speakers are, but we definitely need to follow you as well.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you.
And I know this didn't start overnight. So can you tell me, how did you get started? What was your beginning thought and your first few actions? Because a lot of the people here today dream of being where you are. So they just want to know how to start from scratch.
Well, it's the word start. You've got to start. You've got to take whatever the notion is, whatever your intuitive thoughts are, because I believe there's a voice within all of us. Whether we choose to listen to that, pay attention to it, honor it, follow through on it, we've all been there where we haven't. And in my case, I can personally attest to the fact that when I've not followed my intuition, when I've chosen to go against and resist my inner voice, and more so buy into the external of what people think I should be doing or not doing, that's where I go awry. That's where I'm off kilter. That's where I'm dishonoring myself. And I've had enough experiences of that having occurred in my life where I've gotten very fundamentally clear on, this is my life. You know, I'm not here to profess how other people should choose to live their lives. And I've gotten exceptionally clear and focused, laser focus on, I tune everything out. I tune everything out. I don't even go through the feed anymore on social media, particularly Facebook, because not to discredit other people using that platform to speak about where they're at in terms of their level of self-awareness or whatever it is that they're impassioned by. But I'm very clear on, you know, vibe attracts tribe, and I'm very protective of my energies. I have to be, otherwise I cannot be a top tier producer. I cannot meet my deadlines, and I cannot exponentially grow and maximize my own potential if I get more focused and fixated on what other people are doing. So I'm very protective of my sphere. There's been multiple beginnings for me. In terms of my level of self-discipline, I used to be an athlete. A lot of my self-discipline has arisen out of that. I was in a very individualized sport. I was in competitive swimming. So that was a fierce regimen that consisted of training 6 days a week, twice a day. Of course, my goal at that point was to become an Olympic swimmer and represent my country, Canada. Did not happen. However, because I trained with the best, one of my fellow swimmers, she went on to represent Canada. She did go on to the Olympics, Joanne Millar. So this again goes back to, I think it's Jim Rohn who says this, you know, you are basically the result and the byproduct of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So because I was at that point in my life always in the pool, that was my life, I was training and competing amongst the best, which rose my own game and upped my own level. And so I learned also throughout that experience, once again, because it was an individualized sport, I was only ever in competition with myself. It was me and the pace clock. So it was about shaving time off my personal best times. It was about perfecting my stroke. It was about honing my breathing mechanisms and techniques. And so I always knew fundamentally what it meant to be your own hero, your own shiro, your own leader, your own best friend, because when you spend an exorbitant amount of hours in the pool and it's just you up here in your head, how you dialogue with yourself is fundamentally crucial for what you emit energetically out into the universe. And so I knew that if my goal was to be the best swimmer I could be, then I had to be friendly to myself. I had to be kind to myself. I had to nurture myself. To say anything or do anything that's counterintuitive, that's going to set you backwards, why go there? You know, I'm not into self-deprecation. I don't accept it in myself. I don't accept it in other people. I correct people when they're very apt to put themselves down. It's like, why would you put yourself down? If you want people to believe in you, whether you're a business person, whether you're in the personal development world, whether you profess to be a good friend, whatever the case may be, once you start defining yourself with limiting beliefs and limiting concepts, and it's really about, you know, whether there be a realm of victimology in there or you're discrediting yourself, very hard for me to then believe in you. So if you want people to believe in you, you want people to believe in your brand, you want people to believe that you have the capacity and your well is filled up enough that you can actually be of true support and anchor people up, you've got to depict that, you've got to demonstrate that, you've got to embody that, and you've got to show that every single day. So I am fortunately, but again, no coincidence, because I've honed it and I've chosen to hone it. Again, it's always fundamentally a choice. You know, I am in a position every day where my well is filled because I take care of Lisa. Lisa takes care of Lisa. Lisa then is in a position to accelerate in getting my message out there to the masses about empowering other people to empower themselves. So if I'm very clear on that, which I am, then I do all the right things that are going to be in alignment with my goals, with my proclamations, with my declarations, with my I am statements, and just really with the journey of how I choose to take massive action every single day. That's, you know, it's very simple. We complicate things unnecessarily. I've gotten out of that sphere of not making that mistake.
Okay, I think we learned a lot, first of all, from that statement. First of all, we need laser focus. We need
Yes.
to make sure that we start after we focus and figure out what we need to start, and we need to take care of ourselves. Now, it's going to sound dumb because I just gave you 3.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you heck right there because you just.
Because I said dumb.
Yes. See, this is what I don't understand. Why would you say that? You're a very strong, empowered woman. You're interviewing
you
me.
hear the question.
Okay.
What 3 things? That's the reason I said that, because I was like, yeah, you said 3, and I'm like, what 3 things do we need to start? You've answered that. But can you give us the practical 3? Like, I know you've given us the theoretical, kind of philosophical 3. We need to focus. We need to start. So when we start, and let's say we have a limited amount of funds, where do we go looking? Do we just start with the funds we have? Do we keep it simple? Do we start a little podcast with our tiny little mic? I mean, something like that. What are those 3 practical steps that we could take?
Well,
That's okay.
Yeah, the practicality to me is intertwined and interwoven in the theoretical, in the spiritual, in the philosophical. To me, it's all one and the same. So, you know, what I'm going to say here is not an original thought, but it's very much a very pivotal thought, profound thought, if you want to switch and shift within the trajectory of your mindset and in your journey of where you're going, and going vertical and doing it fast. Because by doing it fast, it's not for the sake of being fast, it's for the sake of catching up and making up for the lost time where you've wasted time because you've not been kind to yourself. You've not been intuitive with your goal setting. So goal setting, very important. Getting mentors, being coachable. You know, if you don't write things down, it's very hard to commit. It's not enough to just keep it up here, because we know through our days, you know, things unbeknownst to us, things that are unforeseen, can trip us up, whether it be accidents, whether it be crises, whether it be running behind on an appointment. It could be a whole host of things. It could be your mood from the time that you wake up. So it's very important that you are very stringent and very persistent in your goal setting. I write down goals every night. I write down goals every morning. Usually one's getting crossed off because some of the day-to-day goals that I've aspired to accomplish, and I do accomplish, they're crossed off, which makes room for other things to show up. And the more you do the right things, it takes you in the right direction, which means, you know, for you, very kindly having said, you know, like, people need to follow you because, you know, you're going like gangbusters, or, you know, not quoting you exactly here, but I get the gist of what you're saying, very kind nonetheless. But, you know, your life will morph when you do the right things consistently. Of course, things are going to show up. Of course, people are going to want to collaborate with you. Of course, people are going to look at you as the living, breathing example of, wow, this person really does take action. This person really does believe in themselves. This person is very clear on their own level of deservability and worthiness. So of course, I want to be mentored by this person because I'm not necessarily there. I don't really subconsciously know what all my blocks are, but Lisa seems to have enough tools in her toolbox that she's made it seemingly work for her. Maybe I can pick her brain, you know, because she is fiercely committed to what she says is important to her, and she exercises accountability every single day and uses social media as an opportunity for other people to hold her accountable. Lisa doesn't want to be that person who falls short. It's not really in my DNA. I'm not wired that way. I'm wired to go up, not backwards. Yeah, the journey is zigzag, it's diagonal, it's not a straight line, but I'm always facing forward and I'm always looking up. I'm never looking back. And I think we said this in our last time that you were kind enough to interview me. One of my favorite quotes, I'm not quite sure who wrote it or said it, but there's a reason why your windshield is bigger than your rear view mirror. Don't look back. You're not going there. Go forward. You've got a big expansive view here. Where do you want to go within going forward? You know, pick the trail, pick the path, but go forward.
Wow, we've got gems today. Just plain gems from you, Miss Mcdonald. We need to go forward. We need to be focused. We need to have practical things starting. This is awesome. And my question for you is, oh, great. What do you want to leave as the final gems of words that we're going to take with us away today?
Well, you know, I believe repetition is what sticks, and that can be either the negative or conversely, it can be the positive. So I say very few things consistently because it's more important that it be impactful, that it be implemented, and that it be remembered. So one that I've already cited here in this lovely interview is be your own hero, be your own shiro, be your own leader, be your own best friend. Also very much in line with my branding, what I say on radio, I say every platform, every opportunity afforded to me in order to impart my message to the masses is my purpose, I am here to uplift you to fear less and to live more. And if you immerse yourself in the right YouTube videos, the right mentors, the right reading material, the personal development, and you get this all straight and calibrated and recalibrated and deprogrammed and reprogrammed properly in a way that's going to serve you intuitively as opposed to counterintuitively serve you, wow, do things go vertical and viral quickly. So I just really encourage you to sponge up the yummy stuff, really evaluate, own your own BS, do inventory, regular inventory on a regular basis, do your goals and your self-proclamations, your declarations every day. Be prepared to not only hold yourself accountable, put it out there publicly. I'm asking you to hold me accountable because chances are, if you do that, you're less likely to screw up or disappoint.
Ms. McDonald, thank you so much for being here with us today. We have learned so many wonderful things from you, and we hope that you continue to stay with us. And I know for those who are seated in these seats, they're not going anywhere. But for you guys virtually, we also hope that you continue to stay with us as we have our next speaker, Mr. Actually, I should not be saying Mr. I apologize. Dr. Michael Nelson.
Ooh.
So much, Lisa, and we look forward to hearing from you, Dr. Nelson.
Thank you very much to me at my website, livingfearlesslywithlisa.com.